Hi everyone, this is Karen and she's one of my amazing practitioners and she is one of the people I've done cellular regeneration on. We are the med beds. And Karen has had a pretty outrageous and mind-blowing experience. So I just wanted to share it with you. Okay, Karen, what's happened? Tell us all about it.
Well, I was experiencing perimenopausal symptoms up to like 8 to 10 months before an epic weekend when we came to visit you. So basically, what happened that weekend was that Spring and I came to visit you, and we turned up at your house mid-April, and you were bouncing around like a Duracell bunny.
Like a
Like,
puppy.
like you were completely nuts. I've never seen you like that. I've known you since you were 19, so I've never seen you like that. And I was like, what's going on with Antonia? And you explained to us about the cell regeneration and that you'd started working, you've got it running on yourself, and that you just had a whole new lease of life, like, and you're looking younger and all these amazing things are happening to you. And we were like, oh my goodness, we don't know if we can cope with Antonia this weekend. We were only there for like 48 hours or whatever it was, or 24 hours. I remember that weekend.
I was like a puppy, honestly, just so excited.
You were literally nuts, literally nuts. I remember that weekend. We drove down to you on a Friday, and I remember I was I was feeling really pretty grotty actually that weekend, and the Saturday in particular when I woke up. So up until then, the symptoms I'd been experiencing, that they're quite typical symptoms, but not all of the perimenopausal symptoms. But the ones I found the most debilitating were the fatigue. Like you had this unbearable fatigue, feel like your whole life force has been drained out of you, which is like awful. You just have no like enthusiasm for anything whatsoever. Like you wake up every morning exhausted, because my sleep was all over the place as well. I was waking up multiple times in the night, like ridiculously so. So you're always exhausted. I had irregular periods, which is really normal when you're perimenopausal. I also had really severe cramps and backache, which I'll just talk about that in a minute. But that when I was driving to you, I remember I'd been working, then we drove. I was absolutely exhausted, just like beyond exhausted, was not looking forward to any of the day's events that you had jam-packed into our like short stay with you. We were like, oh my goodness. And
Why are we going axe throwing at 10 a.m., Antonia?
Why are we going? I mean, do you remember? I was like, really? Do you really want to do that? But that was me with everything, though, with everything. I was just lacking. So I'm a Pilates teacher and I'm very active. I practice Pilates every single day. I run like 2-3 times a week. I just could not get myself up to do that. And I love getting up early, my mornings. I just couldn't. Every morning I was just like, I can't get up. I can't get up. And that weekend in particular was really bad. I remember waking up Saturday morning, beautiful sunny day in Cornwall, all these lovely activities that you'd planned for us, and I wanted to stay in bed. It was awful. You get like, it's like you get this like it's like a depression that comes over you and just hangs over you. And it's the body aches as well. Your whole body just feeling really heavy, and the DOMs that I was getting after exercise were ridiculous as well. So I had it full blown that weekend. I was just like, I remember talking to Spring in the kitchen before you came down, going, I just want to go back to bed. I don't think I can do this. And, I was like, no, we're here. We've got to do it anyway. So that's when you realize, you were like, okay, I've got to do something about this, didn't you?
It was like this, and I was like, I'm going to be doing their heads in.
Totally. Oh, and the other thing was, as you were walking around like it was lovely sunny day, but it wasn't hot yet. It was April. You were walking around in like a little t-shirt, and well, I wasn't as bad as Spring, but I did have like, I'm sure I had a jacket on or something.
Yeah, Spring had like a t-shirt and a jumper and a coat on, and I was just wearing, I had arms.
She had a scarf wrapped around her and a full-on coat. I was looking at her going, So that was pretty bad. But yeah, I remember like just feeling like, yeah, there's something's really not right here.
Because the thing is as well, like Karen and I have known each other, as she said, since we were 19. We went out hiking a little while ago, and then she was looking at me going, mate, like, have you not got a little bit more juice in you to be going hiking? You were like winning, and we've done it a few times, and you've
Yeah.
always had more energy than me. And she's super fit, and she runs and she trains, and she's an athlete. She teaches Pilates, and so for me to be bouncing around and for her not to be, but that probably messed with your noodle.
It did. I was like, this is like, it was making me feel particularly like even worse than what I was feeling, because I'm like, this isn't right, you
You're
know.
normally running circles around me, and I was running marathons around you.
You were, you were. So yeah, so you decided that you better bring Spring and I
Up to speed.
up to speed, which you did. I think you were in the car, weren't you? I was just like,
I did it at lunch.
it was at lunchtime. That's it. When we went to lunch, that's it. So yeah, and I just remember that I was started to feel the effects of it straight away. That's what I noticed, and I remember that because I was thinking. So we had axe throwing. We had a lovely walk around the town. We had the lovely lunch. We went for a drive. We went to see the sea. Like, you
Then
know,
we had a barbecue.
and then you had the beach party and friends coming over. And I was like thinking, oh, is there any space for a nap? Because I was like, you know, I don't know how I'm going to make it through. But by the time we got back to your house, so lunchtime, then by the time we got back to your house, which was what, I don't know, early afternoon or something, I was already starting to feel more energized. And which was mad. I was like, great, that's okay. I can do this now. I can totally.
It was about an hour later, because if you think about the drive from Truro, it's half an hour, and we had a bit of an extra drive around. So it was only at the end of lunch. Yeah. So it was about an hour and a half when we got back. Yeah, after we're doing it.
Oh, and then we went for a little walk to the beach, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
I was like, okay, right. So we went for a little walk to the beach, and I was like, I was already starting to feel the effect of it. I already was starting to feel a lot lighter, a lot, you know, a lot happier within myself. My body was already starting to feel a bit better. So it was almost like instant that I felt those, you know, the improvements started to happen. But the biggest improvement is that and then of course there was like we had a little party.
We had a little party, you had a few drinks, you didn't have much sleep, and then you had to drive back to Hazelmere.
We left very early on Sunday morning, and I was driving from Cornwall to Heathrow. So yeah, from Cornwall to Heathrow, and then to Hazelmere, Surrey. Okay, so Cornwall, your house to my house is about 4.5 hours, but I had the addition of going to Heathrow to drop Spring off and then come to my house. I did all that drive, stopping once between your house and Heathrow, and then literally dropped Spring off and got straight back and drove straight to my house without no more stops or anything. That was it. And I was not tired in the slightest. And both Spring and I were like, in the car the whole journey. So that was incredible, because it was like I was expecting to be tired from like a bit of a late night, not massively,
and a busy day,
and a really busy day. I was absolutely fine. And then of course I went round to see Henry, my boyfriend, and he was like, oh my God, you must be so tired. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Chewed his ear off,
bouncing around his house like till God knows what time, and he was like, oh my God, can we go to bed yet? And I'm like, no. So, driving him, so I was driving him nuts. I was going, oh my goodness me, I need to be able to do this, because I'm gonna have to get him up to speed. So that was great. And so that was
then you drove home and were like, I'm really alive, and bouncing around, didn't you?
Yeah. I was just like, yeah. And oh God, my goodness, I remember just getting back to the studio as well, and my clients going, what's going on with you? Because I'm a very enthusiastic teacher, but I was sort of like off, and I still am. I was like completely off the scale. They're like, whoa. So they're getting used to it now.
Yeah.
But so that was the 14th to the 16th of April, and then I had a period.
Today is the 26th of June.
26th June, thank you. So I had a period at the end of April, and that would have made it a 28-day cycle. So then I've had a period April, May, and June. All three have been 28-day cycles on the day, like spot on. And so,
So
but
just
remember,
to clarify this, so basically when she entered the perimenopause, which is
yeah,
8 to 10 months ago, she's had very irregular cycles, and
very,
they've been here and there, a bit irregular, and then a lot of back pain that you had as well.
yeah.
And then
So
you missed
yeah,
one cycle as well. You missed one cycle. So now, I mean, periods come and go when you're going through perimenopause and menopause. That's kind of what happens. But for it to suddenly come back and then suddenly be at the 28-day point 3 times in a row is unheard of pretty well.
exactly. So they were very erratic, like something between 20, 21 days to 28, to maybe 28, 29 days or 30 days. That was like how the irregularity of them was. And then I had one, which was just before, kind of a month or so before I came to you, where it was like 53 days and nothing had happened. You know what I mean? What I was experiencing though as well, which I think may or may not be common, but my actual period was very, not just the length of time of my cycle, but how it happened. But what I did have was excruciating back pain, which, can you imagine, for me being so fit and active, was really debilitating. And of course, the body aches and all of that, and the cramps. And it was so bad. It was like a week before and a week afterwards. So that's 3 weeks, that I was like in a lot of pain. So I did go to see a kinesiologist to get, to do the muscle testing to see what was going on, because it was just so bad. And she definitely said that, my hormones were out of balance. And I was like in fight or flight, like the whole time, because that's the other symptoms I was experiencing, was like anxiety for no apparent reason.
Right.
Which is really awful. Like, 1 minute you're okay, and then next minute you're like feeling like really anxious, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So the fact that I went through that, and then after literally 2 weeks after coming to you and you doing the magic, straight back into a regular cycle with barely any discomfort whatsoever.
Yeah.
Absolutely none. And that's the thing. So I've gone straight back to a regular 28-day cycle on the day. And that's now 3 months running. And that, I think, I haven't had that in well over a year. And my periods did used to be very regular.
So, and your energy levels have been
Amazing.
so, it's hang on. So basically, Karen is one of those annoying people who wakes up. She's a 5 a.m. wake up, meditate, go running, go do her Pilates, start work at 9, like bouncy lady. That's basically her. And she, for the last, how long you haven't been able to be you? For the last year, is it, or 6 months?
Yeah, I'd say it's probably a year or maybe even a little bit longer. It just, completely.
Okay. So it's been over a year, say. And then I did this to you, and then what happened? I think it was the next day you had. What happened? I think it was the following day you said, wasn't it? Or quite soon after. What happened?
What that I just
You suddenly were able to go and do exercising again.
So I drove. Okay, so I drove home, didn't I? I drove home on the Sunday after that long drive, busy weekend. Monday, I was like up 5 a.m. I think it was 4:45. Bounced out of bed at 4:45. Got my running kit on. Like, did my journaling. Got my running kit on. Off I went. Off to do my running, happy as anything, really happy to do it. No like tiredness. I'd slept as well. I'd slept well, absolutely happy as anything. And it continued.
And it's been the same ever since. You just had
So my sleep has also regulated, and that's huge. My sleep's regulated. So I'm waking up easily. I mean, it's easier at this time of year, of course it is, because of the light, but honestly, I couldn't do it. And it was awful, because I love my early mornings, my time, it's my time. That's my time. And I couldn't have it. And I was just like dragging myself through the day. So, and that was instant. So that was like on the Monday morning. And then I was bounced straight into a full day of teaching. and it's
But
so continued.
and I mean, even the next day, having had a few drinks and having to wake up on the Sunday, you still woke up on the Sunday and were able to just bounce out and leave without it being too arduous.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was not a problem at all. I remember Spring saying, "Do you need to stop? Do you need to in the drive? Do you need to?" I was like, "No, I'm fine. I don't. I'm not. I'm absolutely fine. I'm just going for this. Do you need to stop?" You know. She goes, "Well, I might need the toilet." I'm like, "Okay, one stop." I'm on a mission here. But I just didn't feel tired. I didn't feel, yeah. That's it, exactly. So that was instant. That was like the
Yeah.
next day, and then the day after that felt great.
So is it life changing?
100% it's life changing. You've reversed the menopause. That's
I
pretty
like it.
life changing.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like myself again. I have all my energy, all my enthusiasm. I'm a really upbeat, lively, like just really positive person. And I was the complete opposite. I'm always happy, and I was just like always like this. I was just like, and now I'm back.
Drudging. Now you're
Yeah,
back
it was
to the
awful. It was horrible. And yeah, I feel like I have my life force back, but and then some. Because I
So do
was
you feel like you were, I mean, if you could age yourself, your amount of energy you've got now, do you feel like you're in your 30s, 40s, 20s? What would you say?
I feel like, really honestly, if I'm going to be really honest about it, I feel like I'm in my 30s.
Okay.
That's how I would place myself
And
age-wise.
you're how old now?
I'm 50.
There you go. People need to know these things. I know how it is because I gave you a nice crystal.
Yes, you did. I am 50, and I feel like I'm in my 30s, early 30s at that.
Early 30s. And the thing is, this is continuing.
Yeah.
Like this is not this is going to continue. There's a big shock, and it's a big movement as well when it starts, and it seems to be particularly amazing for people who are perimenopausal and menopausal, but it's working on everyone we've done it on, really. It's amazing. But I think the reverse aging is continuing, and I think we'll continue to get younger. So I don't know what you'll feel in 6 months time or 6 weeks time. You know, it's hard to know, but if you're early 30s now, I think it's just going to keep going down.
That's awesome. Well, of course, aside from, the big thing with the menopause, of course, is fact, like for me, doing what I do, well, the physical activity I do, is I've noticed just how much better my body is moving and how much stronger I am.
Yeah, you said your moves are different, your dom's different. Do you want to go into that a bit more as
Yeah,
well?
absolutely. So after running or a particularly, advanced Pilates session, I would definitely feel it the next day. I would definitely feel it the next day. Now, I mean, I go for a run. I'm not the kind of person that like is always trying to better my runs or anything. I go for a run to be out in nature. Yeah. But I am running faster.
Mhm.
Definitely running faster. It is effortless. So my breathing is better. My lung capacity is clearly better as well. I'm not getting like slightly achy hips that I used to get. And I'm not getting the body aches as well. If I've had like an intense Pilates session, I'm not feeling it in the same way at all. I feel I've worked, of course you feel like you've worked, but it's honestly, it's like I have, it's just like my ability to work out has just, it almost seems like it increased overnight. My strength is so much better. My posture, I know I work on it and I've always worked on it and I have really good posture, but I just feel like I feel taller
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, I just feel like I have more space in my body, and my spine in particular feels like it's moving really freely and really nicely. So it's all good. That's amazing. For me, it's amazing because that's the one thing that if ever I've experienced like stuff going on with my body, that's I find the most debilitating stuff. And then of course there's the productivity. I know that's gone off.
Oh yeah, talk to us about the productivity.
Crikey. I was finding it really, so that's another symptom of perimenopause though, is that you find it really hard to focus, concentrate, and even get round to doing stuff. I'm just like bashing out my to-do list, and I'm like, there's nothing standing in my way anymore. I've got quite big life events in front of me: divorce, house move. I'm also going to relocate my studio business. I've got these big things that I've been kind of like sitting on for years, and I'm just doing it now. I'm just like really driving everything forward. And I just don't leave things anymore. I get jobs done because I have the capacity, I have the bandwidth to do it. That's this that you've been calling the bandwidth. I totally get that.
Bandwidth.
Totally get that.
It's the ability. It's like the number of hours of productivity you've got in the day, and the number of like being able to change tasks, do lots of different social things.
Yeah.
It's literally your strength to be able to do a multitude of different things. And I'm finding that I'm sleeping less and I've got more productive hours, and it's like I've got an extra day or two in the week, which is completely bonkers. Is that the same for you? Yeah.
Absolutely, because I was, there would only be key times in the day that I could actually work, and that typically the morning, which is another reason why I used to get up early to try and get stuff done, because I found that if I tried to do anything that was particularly taxing or like creative, like writing or anything, I would have to do that at the first half of the day. After the afternoon, forget it. Anything other than like mundane tasks, I couldn't do. I just couldn't do. But now it doesn't matter what time of day it is.
Just crack on.
I just crack on. Yeah, literally.
Whenever.
Just get it done. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. And yes, it's changed my life.
And the thing is, I mean, I'm really excited about the fact that my face is changing, and that is cool. Have you noticed any face changes? Not yet.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I have, but not as much as yours.
I'm
But
ahead of
yours
you.
has been running longer. But I
Yeah.
was actually looking at my photos that I've been taking, and I have noticed they're quite subtle. But I think, you see, for me, the biggest things I've felt is actually physically.
I think that it goes to where it's needed. So I think
Yeah.
that we've all got weak spots, and obviously menopause was something which was debilitating to you. And I'm not there, so I didn't have that. So I think it's coming in different places. But so I'm obviously like really excited about the face stuff. But the thing that matters the most is the energy levels.
Yeah.
And because it doesn't matter how pretty you are, if you get out of bed, what are you going to do? It doesn't matter. So I mean, and we've all got a layer of vanity to us to some degree, I'm sure, but just having the energy just to be able to do what you want and change task and go here and go there and do so many different things in a day, that's the thing which I think is the most valuable thing in the world.
Yeah, much
Energy.
much more so. Yeah, well, especially when you are running your own business, or whatever, you've got to be able to multitask or even delegate, whatever. But you have to be able to be like, you have to be on the ball. You have to keep
Make decisions quickly.
You do have to make decisions quickly, and you have to have the energy as well to get through. So remember, I run my business and I do the teaching at the moment. I do it all. It's
And the
quite a
healing and
lot.
stuff like that.
Now it's effortless though. Now it was like a real weight before. So yeah, now it's completely effortless.
So now Karen has just learned just yesterday how to do cellular regeneration. So she's going to be available, and all the other level 12s who have just taken the level will be available to be doing cellular regeneration in the next couple of weeks. So that's all really exciting. How are you feeling about doing this for other people?
I am so excited about it. So excited about it. And yeah, I'm getting started straight away because I want to help people feel like this, the fact, especially people who have like serious things, diseases, in their bodies, is the fact that you can potentially clear all these from them and help them live healthy, regain their vitality and their youth and their energy levels and
And it's
everything.
the joy levels as well, which is the other thing. So, I mean, I'm sure everyone knows that as you're tired, you become grumpy. And if you're in pain, you become miserable. Pain and tiredness. And, you know, we're all a little bit more irky and difficult when we've had a bad night's sleep. And it just sucks your joy. And it just makes you a bit more volatile and more annoyed, and the world just sort of weighs on you significantly more. Once you get your bandwidth back up and you have more life force energy, there's just more joy because things don't weigh on you so much. It's like if anyone's ever fallen in love, and how light and how easy and how fluid everything feels when you're in this lovey-dovey mindset. And that's kind of what it's doing. You know, you're reacting to the world in a more loving space just because you've got less things weighing you down. Is that accurate?
That is 100% accurate.
Yeah. That's what I'm noticing. And, you know, and things that you'd be like, oh, don't want to go and get it done. And you just like, right, let's just go do it. You know, you're just okay to do it. It's not like you're having to really suck it up to do things. You're just doing them. You're just like, okay, right, I'll just go do that. And you just go do the task, and then it's just done, and then it's out your way. And it's, you know, it's just not there.
Job done. Next.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah, so I'm really, really excited. I'm very grateful, and I'm very excited to be able to do this as well.
World changing. I really do think this is the most valuable thing there is on the planet, giving people back their youth. There's nothing more valuable than that, as far as I'm concerned.
And like you said, it goes way beyond aesthetics, you know, it goes way.
We like the aesthetics, no, you know, and also people are noticing their muscle tone is looking different and better. So that's a nice thing too. But it's beyond that. It's your life force. And there is nothing more valuable than life force. Not really.
Actually, you know, you were asking me whether my looks have changed, you know, my face has changed. I think it clearly has, because I constantly, like literally on a daily basis, people are like saying to me, oh my goodness, you're looking amazing.
There you
go. All the time. Yeah.
People can't place it though. It's interesting. I went down to my local shop the other day, and I know somebody who works there, and she was like, you look amazing. And I literally, I don't think I even brushed my hair. I just literally called out of bed, and I just went down to I don't know, I think I went I felt like going for a walk, and I literally was not, I'd probably still have makeup on from yesterday or something. Like I was not looking my best. And she was like, you look really fresh and look really amazing. And I was like, no, I've reversed age. I don't look great today. I just look younger than I did last time you saw me.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. But also it is that, you know, you regaining your youth and your vitality.
There's a glow.
Exactly.
There's a glow. There's definite glow of youth.
Yeah.
And then pregnant ladies have the same things. There's this glow of youth that people have. And children are very, very vibrant. And I think that vibrancy is coming back to our energy systems and fields as well. Amazing. All right. Anything else that we've missed you want to add on top of that, please, Karen?
I don't think so. Lovely. I think we've pretty much covered everything. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank everyone for watching. And this is Karen, and she's going to be available for treatments imminently. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.